Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the January 28th edition of Carolina Week.
Will the educational experience at UNC be the same if our state makes administrators slash the budget?
Our local airport might be taking a hit because of the construction of Carolina North.
In sports, can the Heels escape Tallahassee with a win against the improving Seminoles?
Weathercaster Dan McKimmey will let us know if we're likely to see more snow soon.
All that and wish you had a tissue for your art project?
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
The tough economy is causing a lot of concerns here in our area. I'm Elizabeth Edmonds.
And I'm Carly Swain. The state is trying to balance the budget, and universities like Carolina could take a big hit. Josh Ellis just got back from the Legislative Building in Raleigh. He joins us now live in the newsroom. Josh, just how bad does it look for higher education?
Well, it's looking bleak, Carly, and particularly for UNC. The state budgetary shortfalls will dominate the 2009 legislative session, and state budget writers will have to find a way around a projected $2 billion shortfall, one that could have a big impact here at UNC. The mood at the General Assembly was light on the first day of session. Those feelings won't likely last long as state lawmakers quickly turn their attention to the budget.
We've seen nothing like this.
Senator A.B. Swindell has a difficult task this session. As chair of the Education Committee, he'll be one of several legislators trying to figure out how to balance the budget. And like every state agency, UNC will feel the effect. According to UNC Chancellor Holden Thorpe, the university will have to cut faculty and staff, eliminate some classes, and increase the size of others. But House Speaker Joe Hackney says it's important the General Assembly continue their support for higher education.
Our community college system remains the envy of the nation, and our universities are world class. When times are tough, our citizens are drawn to them, thirsting for knowledge and craving opportunity.
And Senator Swindell adds that parents and students can't avoid a significant tuition increase.
Even though we may have one of the better deals going in the country, a lot of these people who have children at the university level are now unemployed or have been downgraded in their jobs, and we have to be mindful of that.
Now, Governor Bev Perdue will make a budget recommendation to the legislature in the coming weeks. She's promised to keep education cuts at a minimum, but says the revenue situation is so severe that every part of state government will feel some pain. In addition to state cuts, UNC System President Erskine Bowles is asking for a 2.8% tuition increase. That's about 30% more than Chancellor Thorpe.
Wow. So, Josh, what's the outlook for UNC?
Well, the U.S. Congress could provide a relief package for states, and that's money that could guarantee that state education leaders could use some of that. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, sounds like a waiting game. That's Josh Ellis reporting live in the newsroom. Thanks, Josh.
We're less than 2 weeks away from picking UNC's next student body president and other members of student government. Signs in the pit get candidates' names out, and student-led forums give candidates the chance to get endorsements and support. Opportunities like these are valuable. Residence halls were off limits to candidates up until a few nights ago. Election day is February 10th. We'll have the results live that night on a special edition of Carolina Week. There are 6 student body president candidates, and one of them is trying a new campaign technique. Ron Bilbao and his campaign unveiled a new tactic earlier this week called the U-Board. The board is designed to let students voice ideas via sticky notes about which issues they want resolved on campus. At the end of the day, a platform manager researches the ideas to decide if it's a feasible plan to add to the platform.
One of our philosophies is that a platform is something you stand on, but it means nothing if you're standing alone. So we want the students to unite. We want Carolina to come together.
The U-Board will be making the rounds with the campaigners as they dorm storm and make trips to the pit and graduate schools. The UNC Department of Public Safety is collaborating with Chapel Hill and Carrboro to make a monthly online safety report available to the public. The report covers alcohol violations, rabies information, and pedestrian safety updates. The report also reminds students about dorm security and staying in well-lit areas. UNC students might be graduating as experts in subjects like Roman theology or microbiology.
Yeah, but we are lacking some basic money management skills. Our Sumi Krishnan has that story.
I don't know how to balance my checkbook.
UNC junior Jerry Butner is not alone.
I don't even keep up with my receipts.
I have no idea what my credit score would be.
With the use of debit cards being so commonplace, it's so easy to not keep track of how much money you're spending. So are there any programs to help teach us this stuff, or are we just left in the dark?
Surprisingly, Chapel Hill High School offers a program called Academy of Finance, which teaches students the basics of financial planning. Teacher Mary Jones stresses the benefits of this program.
I believe kids are going to know how to save money. I believe they're going to know how to plan for their future. We even do things like comparing renting an apartment versus when it's time to really buy.
And Jones cautions students against the financial traps they may face when they get to college.
The first week or two of school, you're bombarded with this credit card application. They're going to hand you a new T-shirt or a dinner out or something, and kids end up literally sometimes $50,000, $60,000 in debt.
Our Jerry had never heard of this program and wishes somebody had offered it to her.
It's progressive.
But not for long. Chapel Hill High School is phasing out the program this year because of low enrollment.
And I'm sad about it.
Jones says it's a shame that many people don't learn about their finances until there's a problem. In Chapel Hill, I'm Sumi Krishnan, Carolina Week.
Given today's troubled economy, financial literacy is more important than ever.
Watch out when you're driving. There's a good chance the person beside you is uninsured and driving illegally. The nonprofit Insurance Research Council says 1 in 6 motorists in the United States will be without car insurance by 2010. The current recession is causing drivers to cut corners. In the state of North Carolina alone, 12% of drivers are uninsured. So buckle up your seatbelt and hope you don't wind up paying out of pocket for damage caused by someone without insurance. We've been hearing a lot about UNC's ambitious new build, Carolina North.
Yeah, but that construction might interfere with air traffic.
Chris Batters, coming up, I'll show you who's winning and who's losing as Carolina North gets off the ground.
When your children ask where you got married, will you have to tell them, over there by the unleaded? When we lose a historic place, we lose a part of who we are. Help protect historic places in your community. Visit nationaltrust.org.
Recycling a glass bottle saves enough energy to run the TV you're watching for 1 full hour. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world. Making a can from recycled aluminum instead of from raw materials reduces air pollution by 95%. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world. Recycling all our Sunday papers would save over 500,000 trees a week. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world.
You know, this used to be a good neighborhood. Now it's a mess. You got all these polyps running around.
Colon cancer almost always starts with the polyp. Get the polyp early and stop colon cancer before it even starts.
Where'd you think you were running to, huh?
I didn't even see you guys there.
Get the test, get the polyp.
I want to talk to my lawyer!
Get the cure.
I got a phone call!
The university needs more space, hence the interest in the satellite campus Carolina North. Chris Batters joins us now in the studio. Chris, one group moving in means another moving out.
And that's the problem, Elizabeth. The site is the current home of Horace Williams Airport and a service vital to the rural residents of the state. Horace Williams Airport is a landing site for small general aviation aircraft. It's currently the home of the North Carolina Area Health Education Program, which operates for 2 main reasons.
One, to conduct clinics for children and families who otherwise would have to drive into Chapel Hill or Durham. The second is to conduct educational programs.
AHEC would move from Horace Williams to RDU Airport. At RDU, AHEC pilots would have to contend with a lot more air traffic. There's general aviation and commercial flights and the occasional visit from foreign countries. Bacon's main concern isn't the traffic, but lack of doctors who already volunteer to help others in need.
Will they continue to do it? And we just don't know. That's our concern, that it may cut down on the number of faculty who are willing to fly, and that means fewer patients that we can serve around the state.
But there are some winners in this deal. The main attraction of Carolina North is a new law school building for the university. Law School Dean John Boger says renovations wouldn't work because the law school is surrounded by 3 athletic fields, 2 buildings, and a neighborhood.
I think we're talking about a building that's taller than this one, that's a little bit more compact, but that would have a great deal more space and more usable space.
It's a tough problem to solve, and Executive Director for Carolina North, Jack Evans, is the man working it out. His main concern is for the AHEC doctors.
But we're not going to do that prematurely. We're not going to, the airport isn't going to close until it's being forced to close for safety reasons.
Though the law school is vital to the university, the AHEC program is vital to the state.
Which specific services do the doctors provide, Chris?
They're helping mostly very young patients with HIV, AIDS, and other serious ailments. Those kids need specialized medical care.
Chris Batters reporting from the studio. Thanks, Chris.
Make a note on your emergency call list. The Orange County 911 Center is in a new spot. The emergency response team in Hillsborough is working with a new phone tower to facilitate some faster, more modern technology. So far, no glitches involved with the changeover. The new facility should accommodate more calls and allow operators to process them quickly and efficiently.
Could the construction on campus unearth human remains? The old Chapel Hill Cemetery is a resting place for past residents. However, when the university's first medical students arrived, they didn't bury the cadavers there. They buried the bodies between Dye and Gardner Halls, where Venable now sits. Before there were students and buildings in the lower quad, the area was just forest, as highlighted on this map. Professor Timothy McMillan says we can't forget about this unmarked burial site.
I think somebody should research and find out exactly who it is, and then there should be some sort of a historical plaque. I would be very interested in it, and I would hope that they would appropriately reinter them.
McMillan thinks the construction crews don't even realize there might be bones where they're digging and could be in for a big surprise. And let me tell you, that story is perfect for this eerie weather, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a little gloomy outside, but weather forecaster Dan McKimmey's here to tell us if that's going to stick around.
Yeah, it's definitely been gloomy outside, and we're going to get another round of rain, but it will clear out eventually. Coming up on Carolina Week, bring out those coats and jackets. I'll let you know how long this gloomy weather will last and when you'll finally be able to see the sunshine again.
To change the world, you don't have to be rich, or famous, or play ball, or lead countries. All you have to do is tell your family you want to be an organ donor. Talk to your family about organ donation. Talk to your family about donating life.
This is Mommy's bed. Me and Jenny were jumping on it. Mommy's gun fell on the floor. I was a cowboy. Bang, 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 bang. I said, Jenny, wake up, it's just pretend. But she wouldn't wake up.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm student forecaster Dan McKimmey with your weather plans for the week ahead. It's been soggy and warm outside lately, and we will be having another round of showers before it's all said and done. But over the next 24 hours, we will begin to clear up as a cold front will pass through the area. And as it passes through, it's also going to bring some more colder weather. Now, we're not talking about Arctic cold like we saw a couple weeks ago, but it will be bringing back temperatures to normal levels where they should be for this time of year. If we take a look at the satellite and radar map, you can see we have a bunch of showers out towards the east part of the U.S., showers stretching down from Louisiana all the way up to Maine, and parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kentucky saw some ice, snow, and sleet from this, and it's been pretty treacherous out there. Here in the Carolinas, though, it's been kind of rainy, and right now there's not too many showers around the area to speak of, but over the next couple of hours, we will begin to see this front out towards the west approach us, and it's going to bring some rain showers. We're not talking about any snow or ice for us, just rain, but it will bring some wet weather, so you do want to have your umbrella with you if you're going to be out tonight. The surface map shows where that front is at. The cold front is actually just located right off the North Carolina mountains, and this will be sweeping through the area over the next couple of hours through the evening. Now, as this front passes through, by tomorrow we should be breaking out into clear skies. Perhaps a few lingering clouds will be around, but our next weather maker will be out towards the Midwest, and this is the second cold front. This will bring us another shot of cold air, and behind this, there's not really much rain associated with it, just cold and drier air. Now, with February just around the corner, you may be wondering, what can we expect for this time of year? Well, around the beginning of February, temperatures are around 51 degrees for the high and around 30 as lows. By the time we reach mid-February, temperatures are around 53 with lows right around freezing. And by the end of February, we're only up to 55 with lows around 35. So as you can see, the weather is still pretty chilly in February. And this is interesting. The average snowfall is about 2.6 inches. And February is actually considered the snowiest month in Chapel Hill. So it's definitely something we're going to keep an eye on for the next couple of weeks. Now, if you're going to be going to the mountains this weekend, temperatures will be chilly, but it'll be great for skiing weather. 33 on Saturday, overnight lows in the teens. But on Sunday, we break out into the 40s. It'll be very sunny, great for skiing. And the beach, it's going to be a little bit chilly there too. Not as cold as the mountains, 46 as a high on Saturday, 50 degrees on Sunday with an overnight low around 36. Lots of sunshine, but still kind of chilly. Now around here, if you're going to be out and about, you definitely want to have that umbrella with you. It's going to be wet, and it's going to be kind of cold too once that front passes through. By about 10, 11 o'clock, the showers should be all done with, and we should be breaking out into clear skies, but temperatures will fall into the lower 30s. By tomorrow afternoon, though, we may see a few lingering clouds around, but temperatures will be in the lower 50s for most of the region. It'll be very nice. If we take a look at that 4-day forecast, you'll see the sunshine is with us for the next several days. Temperatures on Thursday and Friday in the 50s. The secondary cold front comes through on Saturday and will bring temperatures down into the mid-40s. But by Sunday, we rebound into the 50s and temperatures overnight in the 20s. But guys, for this time of year, this is actually pretty typical for January weather.
So basically, we're not going to get out of class anytime soon for snow, right?
No, I don't think so. Not anytime soon.
That's a bummer. All right. Thanks anyways,
No
Dan.
problem.
Listen to this. February marks the peak time of year for contracting influenza. The doctor's orders, get a flu shot. Oh, hey, that didn't even hurt. Getting your flu shot only takes 3 to 5 seconds, but getting the flu takes 3 to 5 days or more. Doctors say this year's vaccine works well against the virus strains that are circulating, but the antiviral drug Tamiflu doesn't. Dr. Thomas Bellhorn says that makes preventing the flu easy, but treating it difficult.
The medicines that you take, either prescribed or across the counter, don't shorten influenza or make it that much better. We don't have any magic medicines that's going to take it away. So the best is really prevention, use of a vaccine.
Dr. Bellhorn also says that a good influenza vaccine prevents disease 70 to 90% of the time.
Many students are gearing up for early semester tests this week, and Counseling and Wellness Services has a new massage program to help students cope with the rigors and tensions of college life. About 85% of college students reported back pain, according to a 2008 Boston University study. Massage releases tension in the muscles, promotes tissue regeneration, and relieves migraine pain. UNC massage therapist Carlotta Reyes says the treatment helps you realize what's causing you stress.
When to say no to things, when to adjust their schedules in order to keep that sense of well-being within themselves. So hopefully it'll act as an education.
Students can get a 30-minute deep tissue session for $30. An hour will cost you $55 at the Student Health Building. As students near the end of college, some are hearing wedding bells, but there might not be as many bells and whistles this year. The LA Times reports that a quarter of couples plan to cut their wedding budgets in half this year. The turnout at Carolina Inn's annual Bridal Show proved that hard economic times aren't stopping people from tying the knot. But junior Jody Center says the downturn did factor into her wedding budget and even sent her down to Florida for a blowout dress sale.
Yeah, it was great. So I got my alterations, my veil, my shoes, all my accessories and everything for less than half of what I would have paid for the dress originally.
She says planning ahead and looking for sales are crucial for today's bride-to-be. And let me tell you guys, I've been to one of those bridal expos, and that's a sport and competition in itself.
We've got a couple of competitions in sports in-house here at Carolina. Jason, you've got a little
Absolutely.
look at that.
And you're talking about the Bridal Expo here, and you know, some Tar Heel fans are spiritually married to the Heels, as we know, those crazy fans. But we do have a game tonight against Florida State, and Florida State hasn't beaten the Heels in the past 5 years. We're going to talk about that game. But coming up in sports, everyone on campus can tell you something about the men's basketball team. But what about this team?
Hasn't won a single ACC title, but that both Roy Williams and Dean Smith fought to keep on campus.
There is really only one boy.
Probably has to learn to run audio a little better.
One girl. One tree. One forest. One deep, dancing ocean. One mountain calling. One handful of sand through our fingers. One endless sky overhead. And one simple way to care for it all. Please visit earthshare.org and learn how the world's leading environmental groups are working together under one name, EarthShare. One environment, one simple way to care for it.
No tratarías a un maniquí de prueba de choques como un niño. Entonces, ¿por qué tratar a tu hijo como un maniquí de prueba de choques? Si miden menos de 4 pies 9 pulgadas, ellos necesitan un asiento elevado booster. Aprende más en boosterseat.gov.
Tonight, the men's basketball team is headed down to Florida State for its first game of the week. Let's take a look at what the Heels need to do to win. In the first two conference games, UNC struggled to make baskets, but their opponents didn't seem to share that problem. After the consecutive losses, Carolina went on to win 3 straight conference games, but this doesn't mean that everything is looking up for the Heels. The key to getting a win tonight will be rebounding, an area where UNC has struggled all year long. And if the Heels can rebound well, there might be some happy Heels headed back to the Hill with a win. These players wear Carolina blue, but they don't play for championships. Carolina Week's Kelly Davies shows us what it means to be a UNC JV basketball player.
With 5 national championship banners above their heads, members of the UNC JV basketball team are hard at practice. Some players dream of varsity status, while others, like senior Thomas Thornton, are content to take advantage of what the JV team has to offer.
Basically just understanding of what it's like to work really, really hard for something that you're not necessarily going to get, a trophy or an end of the year tournament or anything. You just kind of work for yourself and for your teammates.
Along with fellow senior Mike Chevelik, Thomas has been around long enough to see some of his JV teammates make varsity. JV Tanner, Jack Wooten, and Patrick Moody all played for the JV basketball program for 2 years before they were given the opportunity of a lifetime to play with Roy Williams and the varsity squad. That opportunity is rarely given, and current JV coach C.B. McGrath is aware of the timing that's involved.
There's no surefire path to get to the varsity. It's all dependent on, is there any openings, what we need, what we don't need, stuff like that. I mean, it's not necessarily our best player that's been on the JV team that makes the varsity the next year, because we need kids that can get to practice if they're a walk-on. We don't need them to get into a game and try and shoot every time they touch the ball and all that kind of stuff. We need kids to help us in practice and to do their job academically.
And that they do. That's what they appreciate from their time spent on JV. Jack Wooten recognizes what he's gained.
I mean, it was unbelievable. Some of my best friends are guys I know on the JV team. JV's getting married this summer, and I'm going to be in his wedding.
And that's Tar Heel love of a different sort. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kelly Davies, Carolina Week.
How about that? One of the greatest things about the JV basketball team is how much fun they seem to have on the court. And yeah, even when they do run suicides. UNC students have been back on campus for a few weeks and are adjusted to their class schedules. Now they can concentrate on something more important, Intramural Basketball. This week is the beginning of Intramural Basketball season. For the next few weeks, hundreds of students will be filing in and out of Woolen Gymnasium to showcase their talents in hopes of winning those famous Intramural Championship t-shirts. The 4 leagues Campus Rec gives any player a chance to put some points on the board. If you miss a sign-up period, don't worry, because some teams are still looking for a few more players to add depth to their squads. Men's tennis faced a doubleheader Tuesday and started things off with an emphatic 6-1 win against Campbell. The Heels started things off with singles, winning 5-1. Luke Mojica gives his opponents no chance here and eventually went on to win his match. Cameron Ahari shows off his stuff with smart play over here as he takes the point. UNC also won doubles as Alex Rappy nails this wicked drop shot for the point. Andrew Crone and Zach Hunter get up close and personal and give Campbell a little bruise to remember the visit to Chapel Hill. In the nightcap against NCCU, junior Andrew Crone secured 1 Tar Heel victory, winning in straight sets. Lefty Zach Hunter also cruised to victory against Andres Perez 6-4, 6-2. In the number 1 singles match, Taylor Fogelman overpowered NCCU's Jack Wyson in straight sets 6-3, 6-1. Fogelman was just as dominant in doubles action. He and partner Clay Donato won this back and forth rally on their way to an 8-3 win. The Heels shut out NCCU 7-0. Now, Duke's never been our favorite next-door neighbor, so that got us to thinking. How do you feel about the Blue Devils being on top of the college basketball polls?
I'm a little bit ashamed, and I'm just waiting for Carolina to get back in there and beat Duke and show them who's boss.
I'm really upset at the fact that they're not number 1, so hopefully whenever Duke does come, it'll change. So.
Yeah, no matter what happens, man, that's never okay.
You know, it gives me a heartache every time I see Duke on top of the polls. But Duke has a tough game tonight against Wake Forest. We lost to Wake Forest early in the season, and of course, we can get revenge by beating Duke on February 11th in Cameron Indoor.
Sounds like we've got a plan with Jason Kahn. Thanks so much, Jason.
No problem.
Elizabeth, we've all used tissue paper to add a little flair to some gifts before.
But tissue paper used to create art? That story coming up.
Contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599.
This semester at the Stone Center, there's a one-of-a-kind art exhibit. The opening ceremony is tomorrow, but reporter Nakarla Webb gives us an inside look today.
Politics and art are two things Maya Freeland Asante loves to mix. The Stone Center is displaying her works through March in the Robert and Sally Brown Gallery. Asante invented her own method of making art, tissue paper ink monoprint, after viewing the devastation left by Hurricane Katrina.
I think that for me, the tissue paper becomes a memory of existence, something that reminds us of something that once was.
Asante aspires to have messages from her art leap from the walls. One Piece Border Crossing asks the world to find solutions to land conflicts. She attaches titles like Prayer for Peace to her creations to give meaning to her abstract art. Asante uses a unique method of wetting paper to make colorful prints. Her newest works include family photos. Caroline Hampton is a fan.
The way that it ended up making things bleed into each other gets at the message that she's trying to portray also.
While at UNC, Asante will give lessons to children in the Communiversity program and visit a prison. She's excited to hang her work on these walls because her father was the architect of the building.
Tissue paper is a material often used by students in elementary school. Asante labeled her new exhibit free in an effort to encourage new ways of making art.
She hopes everyone will make statements and find voices through all types of art. In Chapel Hill, I'm Carla Webb, Carolina Week.
This was actually really beautiful. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you for watching. Good night.